Happy Purim, everyone. This is the 257th Taiku in the Babylonian Talmud, and it appears on 23 Chulin 23b. Now, it's Purim for the rest of the world, but it's not actually Purim yet for Jerusalem. And so I figured, in the spirit of the festivities of the whole world, it is the 14th of Adar, and that is a date, I believe, that is written in the book of Esther. So it is Purim, the 14th of Adar. So I figured I'd keep the festivities going, and in the spirit of that, got this little sombrero. Last year I had a different hat. I had a white. It was like a sort of like a cowboy hat, but it had a feather in it. It wasn't exactly a cowboy hat. It's like a real tall, almost like a Texan kind of a thing. But this year, for some reason, sombrero is the thing. So, what's very interesting is that I'm remembering that the Three Amigos came out in 1986. I remember seeing it in the theater as a young boy. And the Three Amigos, they wore sombreros, and it was in 1986, but we're now in the year 5786. And it's interesting that it came up on my feed, the Three Amigos, or maybe I just remembered to Google it or something, or YouTube, whatever, search for it. And it's interesting because it takes into account the whole work that I'm doing with the sun and the moon. From the perspective of the sun, they're aligning. So 1986 is like the Gregorian calendar is like the sun, and the 5786 is the moon, and they're lining up in this year, which was 40 years ago, and that's what this PL89 calendar is based on, is the alignments of the sun and the moon. With that being said, 257 taken number 257. Just one more comment on this Taiku, since it's Purim, and it was Operation Rising Lion that was in, and I'm saying this because it's very much connected to the Purim story. That after the Purim story, after Haman was hung and all that, there still was a decree. If you remember reading in the Book of Esther, the decree to wipe all the Jews out. So the king said, Ahasuerus said, we can't take that back, but we can allow you to fight, which means I'm taking that to mean it might help them, give them support. Because if you're fighting, you don't need permission to fight. If you're going to get killed, do the best you can. Why do you need permission to fight? I heard someone ask that today, but the answer is that probably either they helped them out, or my thought is that by the fact that the king, because we often say the king, it's representative in some way of God, the king. It's like the King of Kings. God is behind all kings. So if the Jews get the approval to fight from the king, which it basically means that they're going to be successful. Like, they could fight and die. But this was like a issuing saying, you can fight and you will win. Because when someone has their back against the wall, they fight anyway, even if they get killed. There's no guarantee that they'll win. But the approval of the king is like saying they will win. That's how I understood it. But Rabbi Reuben Wolf said that it actually was like, he compared it to Donald Trump backing up Israel in Operation something Fury, Extreme Fury, what's it called? Fists of Fury, Operation Extreme Fury, whatever. And something Fury, and Rising and Roaring Lion. But you see, when this edict when the letters were set out to say that they could fight, was the 23rd day of Sivan. If you remember, last year the 23rd day of Sivan was June 19th last year. That's when these Taikus started, exactly 257 days ago. And now we find ourselves in Purim in Operation Roaring Lion. That was Rising Lion. Yakum Kilavi, Rising Lion, like a young lion cub. And now it's Roaring Lion. And it's Purim, and it was right after Shavuos last year. And we find ourselves in Purim time now, 257 days later, which is very fascinating. So I think it's pertinent to this day. And so with that, the 257th Taiku in the Babylonian Talmud, found in Tractate Chulin 23b. It's actually starting on the bottom, the last line of 23a, with Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Oleel Rab Oleel Layal Rabois Esapalgas. And Rabbi Yochanan says that the requirement to bring the meal offering and libations of a ram offering is derived from the verse in the portion of libations, or for a ram you shall prepare for a meal offering 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/3 of a hin of oil. Numbers 15 verse 6. That serves to include the palgas, whose meal offering and libations are like that of a ram. Based on that derivation, there is no uncertainty with regard to the status of the palgas. Kiti bayelach aliba de barpada. When you raise the dilemma, it is according to the opinion of Bar Pada, who holds that it is a case of uncertainty. Turning to 23b, de Amar Mesi Umasni, as he says that one who sacrifices a palgas brings the meal offering and the libation of a ram, and stipulates, if it is a ram, this is its meal offering and libation, and if it's a lamb, whose meal offering and libation are less than that of a ram, a palgas. Is that like a kvi? We're not sure what it is. A palgas. What's a palgas? Maybe we don't know what it is. It's something between a ram and a lamb. It's like a kavi. Something between like a deer and a something else. Whose meal offering and libation are less than that of a ram, and then the remainder will be a gift offering. Miamrinan ayal vekeves. Masne bipare, lo masne oidilma bipare nami masni domar obre havi lavi kule nidava teku. The dilemma is, do we say that he stipulates only if it is a ram or if it is a lamb, but he does not stipulate the possibility that it is an entity in and of itself, as Bar Pada does not accept such a possibility? If so, Bar Pada holds that one who vowed to bring a ram or a lamb can fulfill his obligation by bringing a palgas and stipulating accordingly, or perhaps Bar Pada holds that he also stipulates the possibility that it is an entity in and of itself, and in that case he says, if it is an entity, let the entire libation be a gift offering. According to that possibility, even according to Bar Pada, even if one vowed to bring a ram or a lamb and brought a palgas, due to the uncertainty he does not fulfill his obligation. The Gemara concludes, the dilemma shall stand resolved. So what's the actual question? Or perhaps Bar Pada holds that he also stipulates the possibility that it's an entity of itself. In that case, if it's an entity, let the entire libation be a gift offering. According to that possibility, according to Bar Pada, if one vowed to bring a ram or a lamb and brought a palgas, due to the uncertainty he does not fulfill his obligation. Because we don't know what the status of a palgas is. But one thing we could do, we can always find its gematria. And if the meaning is its number, which I hold by, that means palgas means 173. 173 is palgas. We don't know what it is. It's a ram or a lamb. It's a palgas. Palgas maximus. Anyway, that is the 257th Taiku on the 14th of Adar, which is the Purim for the whole world. Happy Purim, everyone. The 257th Taiku in Chulin 23b. We must wait for the Messiah to get the answer for this Taiku.